Welcome back, crew, to the studio, and I want to wrap up this as our last episode in the oil pastel mixed media talk I've been having with you over 4 episodes now, and one introductory episode, and you kind of see them all in order there on my YouTube channel. And this is the last piece we left off with, where I am applying acrylic paint to the base layer and letting that dry thoroughly, and my dark lines are in a charcoal, and everything on this layer is non-oil based. All of it is acrylic or water based or just a dust pastel or charcoal pencil, and that's it. The reason being is when I lay the oil pastel on top and mix it with my various mixing mediums, I want it to adhere onto this. So you always want to apply your oil based mediums on top of just a blank sheet of paper or blank canvas alone. But if you're working with acrylic, it needs to go on top of the acrylic once it's dried. So that's a real important thing to take away. And what I'm going to do is now work on top of this and try to show you all how I start to cut out my abstraction, or let this speak to me in creating a very dynamic piece. So, and if you recall, I created this piece on canvas. And what I did is also dampen the back, because that back gives it a tight effect like a drum. And it becomes easier to draw on and work with the oil bars. The other thing I did when I started this, I cut out the same size square out of paper. This is a thick rag paper. And on this one, there is no acrylic. I'm using my China markers, grease pencils, and I'm using just oil bars and smudging and thinning with some thinner, and I'm just trying to tone the paper to create a nice patina. So what I'm going to do in the next episode is show you how I work to defeat boredom and create more imagery for myself, activate that imagination. I'll work on several pieces at once, and we're going to move on to that right now, and just stick with me, and we'll go to the next step. Thank you. Okay, now we're back, and this is the delicious part. If you've been following this on your own and creating a piece in the same steps that I have, and this is something I really enjoy. When I get it to an area, I can come in now and cut with my oil pastels or paint, where I'm finessing my abstract shapes or looking for unique connections and ways to, create a poetry that comes across as something emotional for the viewer to dive into and sink their teeth in. Okay, so let's get this down here. I have my markers. I think this orientation works well because you get to see my hands without too much shadow, and I'm constantly turning the canvas anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do is, I might be quiet sometimes just so I can think here, but I'm looking for shapes. I'm looking for areas of tension. You see these two shapes here? I like when shapes meet because it creates a little tension for me, but I don't know what to put in here for a color, so let me try. It's usually I start out with my normal palette, and you have to get, I'm nervous at this stage because I don't know what I'm doing in terms of right or wrong, but you just have to start. till you start to get the image to speak to you, and and you're starting to like what you're doing. So you can see I'm defining these areas in here, but I'm also separating them and leaving them connected. So let me get in here. Let me add some other color. And I'm constantly playing with the color. If I don't like it, I rub it out. And rubbing it out is just fine because that adds more texture. And you can't really make a mistake, because that mistake translates to texture and a new shape. So you see I'm seeing a new shape here. And it's a pretty warm day once again, so the oil bars and oil pastels just sink into this pretty much like butter. You know, hot days, and if you turn the AC off, are probably optimal. And let me turn that a little bit. And I'm not going to work on this till the end because, as I've told you all before, I actually work pretty slow because I have a lot of reflection time, and that's okay. You can work slow or fast, and you can decide what's fine for you. Here, and you can decide on your own speed. You don't need to conform to anybody else's work. I see a shape here that I like. I see something in here. And this is that China marker, grease marker. No, actually that's charcoal pencil, but that's okay too. Let's see, here's the China marker. Because I'll come back in there and use my matte medium. So I'm getting another one. I'm seeing like a petal shape. Where was I? See, I totally lost where I was. So here we go. And you know, while I'm working and showing and talking this to you, I'm looking at the camera on my phone just to see where my hands are. Make sure I'm in the field of play here. And I'm liking applying this gold yellow, this ochre, and kind of just leave it as is. And it's a new color that I'm starting to enjoy working with, and that's important too. Always do something that you've never done before. And what I showed many of you guys like when I pull out that magic little tub of blender that I have, and this is let me see, this is the RF blending medium, and I've showed you many links throughout all my videos. If you want the link again, just let me know. I'll put it in this copy, and you have to take off the skin on it. It's a waxy skin that dries up, but underneath there is almost like a Brill cream, and you can see on the ends of my fingers how it glistens, and that just to get this color to spread and thin out a little bit. And I want to get this area in here. See something going on here. I want to get this area a little hotter, a little. And I still have that blender on the finger, and it's so nice how it goes on and starts to work. And then I have a shape here, and I don't know, I see subtle, you know, I look for those subtle hidden lines, and as I'm working, you know, my eye is processing everything and working fast, creating new shapes, new areas. So I'm seeing something in here. There we go. And I might come back in here with this gold just to pick up this curve. I'm liking that energy from the curve. So I'm going to come in here with a little more of an orange. And this breaks this shape away from the edge. And when you do things, you do things like that, I should say, you start to create alternate kinds of energy in your piece. And I'm gonna get a little green in there. And let me hit this with a little blender. But I probably have, till I get happy with this, I have a good 8 to 10 hours of playing, experimenting, destroying, and and in the end it still may not give me what I want, and I will just have to keep working on it. I see another break in here. And let's see if I can come in here with a pink. Where was it? I just turned this around. You know what? I'm gonna put some of this up in here. It's kind of a pink. And come down this edge. And then I'm going to look for this softer. Oh, this is a nice soft pink, hot pink. And gonna come in here. There we go. So get some nice vibration up in this corner. So a whole new shape is kind of emerging in there. But I forgot where I was. Here I am. So let me go in here again with this color in hand. And you can see how this color sits on top of these ridges that I scored into the painting, the acrylic painting. So it stayed as a object. And I put those ridges in with one of these scribers. And this is just a rubber plastic type of thing you can get in a paint store. It's for doing decorative things in a home, painting and texturing your walls and whatnot. I didn't find that in an art supply store. What I found in an art supply store that I scribe with is this metal scratcher. And this is used for etching into metal plates, but I use it sometimes on heavy paper or wood or this, and the line is a lot thinner. And I couldn't even use it here. You know, never be afraid to destroy your surface. You have no idea what you'll get. So this surface has become scored. And who knows what I got in there. Yeah, you can see a little bit the color sitting on top, and I won't blend that too much because that's create a unique texture there. So that's just this metal jobber. Let's see. And then I'm looking for areas that need to be freed. I don't know that I really like this solid black line in here. It seems like it's killing off energy. So let me get in there somehow. What am I going to do? I want to add another little more neutral color. So I'm just going to go to a basic earth kind of earth tone. There, you see what happens when I take that edge out and I start to get a different shape appearing in there. And I like that. Creates a little more movement. And this area I like to heat up a little bit. So let me go back to that old trusty gold. It's not gold, more like a chrysanthemum yellow, whatever. There we go. I like that. But I like to pull out, I'm seeing a nice hot aqua area here, and I like to pull that out. Right here. You can see it right there. This is pretty hard to work this way because I'm looking in the camera at the same time. So that's a unique shape, and just by moving a few, oscillating some shapes and taking out lines, I'm creating a whole new piece then from what I showed you back at the beginning of this video. So that's why it's good to go back over the video and see how far we've come. Then it's a good way to work at home for you all. Just videotape yourself on your phone and see the progression you've made. It's a great tool. You know, use that phone camera as a tool to help you grow. And I'm coming back in here. And I also, when I advance too fast, I'll stop at some point just to reflect and come back another day. Because sometimes I've gone past the point too much. I've gotten all excited where I've ruined the unique gestural beauty of a piece. And what I want to do now is hop off of this and go to the paper piece that we did on the archival paper. And I'm going to put in a little white here. And I'm going to put some white here. And a little white here. Watch how, let me clean my thumb. Get some of that. And it takes, that white takes the color down a bit and grays it, gives it a grayish or a muted color. I don't use it to give me a big highlight. I'm just trying to mute the overall effect of pure color. And you know, I don't like in here. I'm going to come back on another day, dive back in. Yeah, there's a lot here. I just want to look at these some more, reflect on them. I see another unique shape here that I never saw, and this is what I mean by over time you will see other shapes and things that appeal to you. But I'm seeing something up here like a hanging bulb on plant. It's just, I don't know what I'll do with that, but something. And I see this whole thing in here becoming a nice movement. So there we go. And the beauty of this is it's done on top of the acrylic, so the acrylic is acting like a support base, support layer, pushing its color through the textures and the vignetted areas I have, in the areas that I pull away from or I've scored. So here is the other piece just on paper, and let me show you quickly. I like the paper just for pure design. When in being a graphic designer and illustrator in my past lives, I love the power of line, just delicate line or strong line. Line has a lot of impact and important symbols for me. So, you know, let's just play here quickly, and let me come in. And when I work on the paper, I work differently than when I work on the canvas, because you don't have to push too much. The canvas is a little more textured and color flows on the surface of the paper a little better. But I have a lot of tricks to make it, you know, a little more textured by glazing and spraying. And I see this other shape in here, and I want to see if I can hide this line here. See there? So I'm letting the lines dictate to me something. They have some kind of communication, and let's see, let me come in here. I'm seeing something to pull out. And I love burnishing with my thumb deep. Push the color into the paper. Get those nice kind of aged tones, the patina. I like a old patina. I use that word a lot. Other artists use other words, but I just love that because that's what I'm trying to do. And then I want to come back in here with some white and pull that curve a little more. So you see just that little area, how much different energy with subtle tones and subtle coloration, it's starting to come together. And then I have this thing up here, I don't know what it is, a circle, whatever. But I just don't like it sitting there. And I'm gonna burnish this in. There we go. But this I can work on too for hours, but I just want to show you just the different steps you can start to apply to your work. No, don't be afraid of anything, just keep going. And I want to knock down this edge here a little bit. There. And I layer a lot of colors at the same time in a certain area on top of each other, because I'm building a thick, it's not really an impasto, but I know what I'm doing by layering all those colors, because when I apply my thumb into that pile of color, I get a totally different color. And I kind of know the color I'm going to get, and that's just from experience. I'm not applying any magical color theory here. I'm just letting experience inform my decisions. So there we go. So this will need a lot more work, of course, but this is just to show you how you can begin, play, and what the purpose of this really is very basic. I'm working on 2 pieces at once. Let me just add this here. See, I'm like, to talk and do your work at the same time, it's real hard, and you lose focus. Well, it's better to be quiet. Of course, in the studio, I always listen to music, and I usually listen to music without words, because the words take me off on a tangent, which I don't like. I wanna be in control of everything in the studio, so I try to just have the music create a mood, but I don't want to hear the words. Basically, I don't want to hear the blues or any ballads. I just need good inspirational tunes. Okay, that's enough on this. This is going to need more work, but you can see when you work on 2 pieces at the same time, do I have this in the lens, how they complement each other, and they take the pressure off of each other, because you can jump from one to the other. And once you get jammed up on one, go to the other one. And it keeps you flowing, keeps you working, rather than getting paralyzed. You know, you never want to be paralyzed by your work. Just keep going, and you know, never give up. Just keep at it, keep doing it. I'm really liking this thing, and I start to see these as bigger pieces, so it's a nice sketch for maybe a future painting. And I just want to show you quickly before I sign off here. Let me get this back in place. So this is what we've done in the last few sessions, but these are older pieces. Not really older, pieces I just did in maybe the last 2 years. So you can see how I'm creating a theme. And all these were done pretty much the same, in the same method, but my imagery's evolved somewhat. So, but that's the goal. You want to keep it evolving as much as you can. And here's another piece. So there you go. I hope this was good inspiration for everyone, and I appreciate your likes, your views, and I appreciate all you new subscribers, and tell all your friends to come watch and come back. Okay, have a great week. Bye-bye.